Hello students, welcome to our online platform. Myself Engineer PP sir, your physics mentor. So let us start today's lecture with Newton's laws of motion. So today we are going to start with Newton's laws of motion. Newton's laws of motion. So in Newton's laws of motion we are going to study about what are laws of Newton related to motion and different type of forces and questions based on those forces. So first of all, let us talk about inertia. What is inertia? So inertia is a property by virtue of it any object opposes the change in current state. It means inertia is a property of any substance or any body. Due to that body opposes change in its current state. It means if any object is at rest, then that object wants to be at rest, or if that object is in motion, then that object wants to be in motion until any external force is applied on it. So that objection of change in current state is known as inertia. So this inertia is directly proportional to mass of body. It means heavier body always have high inertia. Higher the mass, larger the inertia. Heavier bodies always highly opposes the change in its current state. So this is the concept of inertia. Now, first law of motion, first law of Newton's related to motion, first law is known as law of inertia. It is known as law of inertia. This law can be categorized into three parts. Inertia in static condition or static position, or we can say static inertia. Second one is dynamic inertia, or you can say inertia in motion. And third one is directional inertia. Or you can say inertia in a particular direction. So let us discuss all these three types of law of inertia with examples. So if we talk about first inertia of static position or static inertia, then in this inertia, according to this law of inertia, if any object is at rest, then that object wants to be at rest until any external force is applied on it. It means if I generalize all these three, then first thing is in the absence of external field. In absence of external field, if any object is at rest, then that will be at rest until any external force is applied. If that object is in motion, then that will be in motion until any external force is applied on it. And if an object is moving in a particular direction, then that will keep moving in that particular direction, any external force is applied on it. तो बच्चों सिंपल तरीके से यहाँ पर इसको हमने क्लासिफाई किया है. अगर मैं तीनों के विथ एग्जाम्पल बात करूं, So static inertia का example क्या हो गया? That if a bus is at its bus stop and passengers are sitting on their seats, and if suddenly driver starts the bus, then passengers sitting in the bus feels a jerk in forward direction, so that is due to static inertia. That is due to static inertia because their lower body is in contact with the bus while upper body is free. So as bus changes its state from rest to motion, then lower body of that person, lower the body of that particular person is at rest with that car or bus, but upper body wants to be in motion, so that person or that passenger feels a jerk in forward direction. So this is an example of static inertia. While in case of dynamic inertia, or we say inertia on motion, then in this condition, example is now similarly revert this example. Let us say that a bus full of passengers is moving with a certain speed and driver suddenly applies brakes. Then passengers sitting in the bus feels a jerk in backward direction. So this is due to, again, this explanation is same, that lower portion of that passenger is intact with the bus while upper portion is free. So as the driver applies the brakes, then lower portion wants to be in motion, so that body feels a jerk in backward direction. So this is the example of dynamic inertia. While in case of directional inertia or inertia in a particular direction, what happens? Let us say that an object is moving in a particular direction with a certain speed, and that object will be continuously moving in that particular direction until any external force is applied on it. Let us understand this by an example. Let us say we are tying a stone with a thread and we are welding that stone in circular path, and suddenly that string or that thread breaks, then that stone will keep moving in that circular path for a while. It means that stone wants to be in that particular motion until any external force is applied on it. So this is the first law of Newton. Similarly, second law. So before starting second law, let us talk about linear momentum. Linear momentum. So it is represented by P. So what is linear momentum? Let us say an object of mass m is moving with a velocity v, then momentum of that particle is p is equal to mv. It means mass multiplied with the velocity by which that object is traveling is defined as linear momentum. So here velocity is a vector quantity, so linear momentum is also a vector quantity, and its direction is vector quantity. So its direction is in direction of velocity. In direction of velocity. So this is the concept related to linear momentum. Now we are considering its SI unit as kg meter per second. Its SI unit is kg meter per second. I rewrite it. It's kg into meter per second. Dimension of momentum is, let us say kg is m1, meter is l1, and per second means t minus 1. So dimension of linear momentum is m1 l1 t minus 1. m1 l1 t minus 1. Clear? So bachcho, this is the general concept of linear momentum. Now let us talk about two different cases. Case first is if two objects of same mass are traveling with different velocities, then so in this situation, let us say that P is proportional to V. So P1 upon P2 is equal to v1 upon v2. It means if two objects of similar mass are traveling by different velocities, then their momentum becomes equal to ratio of their velocities. Ratio of their momentum becomes equal to ratio of their velocities, or you can say that in that situation, if mass is constant, then momentum is directly proportional to velocity. And similarly, second case, if two objects of different masses, are traveling with similar velocities, then P is proportional to m. So in this situation, velocity is constant. It means momentum is directly proportional to mass. Higher the mass of object, higher the momentum. So if we compare their momentum, then P1 upon P2 is equal to m1 upon m2. So these are some certain conditions related to momentum. Now let us talk about second law. So second law of motion is, according to second law, that any external force applied on an object, is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. It means F proportional to dp upon dt. If we remove proportional sign, then we get a constant k. And in SI system, value of k is always 1. So F is equal to dp upon dt. It means external force applied on an object is equal to rate of change of momentum. If we place momentum P is equal to mv, then we can say that F is equal to d upon dt, and change in m into v with respect to time. So see, here mass of object is always constant. It means velocity is variable. So we can say F is equal to m dv upon dt, and dv upon dt is known as acceleration. So our force becomes equal to F is equal to ma. So this is the relation of second law, F is equal to dp upon dt, and from here we can conclude that force is equal to mass multiplied with acceleration of the particle or object. See, here we are considering mass as constant. In case of rocket propulsion, we will study that mass can be variable also. So we will discuss variable mass in case of rocket propulsion. So here F is equal to ma if motion is under gravity. Then A is equal to G. So F is equal to m into G. So in this situation, this force becomes equal to weight of the object. So this is the second law of Newton. Similarly, third law. So third law is known as law of action reaction. So according to this law, if an object, let us say there are two objects, object A and B, if an object applies a force on B, then B also applies a force on A, which is similar in magnitude but opposite in direction. So if I say that FBA is force on B due to A, FBA is force applied on B due to A, then this becomes equal to FAB vector which is force on A due to B. Means B is applying a force on A, that is FAB, and if A is applying a force on B, then it becomes FBA. So according to law of action reaction, FAB vector is equal to minus of FBA vector. So equal magnitude and opposite direction. ये होना चाहिए भाई यहां पर लॉ ऑफ एक्शन रिएक्शन में. वन मोर थिंग, it is not compulsory that FBA is action or FAB is reaction. Simply, if there are two forces, then consider any one force as reaction, then another force becomes as reaction. If any one force is action, then another force becomes as reaction. So this is the concept. Another one is action and reaction. Action and reaction always acts on two different bodies. So action and reaction acts on two different bodies. Keep in mind. तो अब एक्शन रिएक्शन लो के बच्चों एग्जांपल्स की अगर अपन बात करें, सो our motion, let us say our motion, if we let us say that we are applying a force on ground. हम बच्चों अपन ग्राउंड पे एक फोर्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, तो क्या हो रहा है, ग्राउंड इज पुशिंग अस, अपन ग्राउंड को पुल करते हैं यहां पर, तो हमें ग्राउंड क्या करता है, पुश करता है. अपन यहां पर कोई फोर्स अप्लाई करते हैं तो ग्राउंड भी उसके रिएक्शन में क्या करता है, हमें पुश करता है, जिसकी वजह से हमारी मोशन यहां पर होती है. तो दिस इज एक्शन एंड रिएक्शन. सिमिलरली इससे भी अच्छा है एग्जाम्पल एक और लो. लेट अस से दैट a person is moving in a boat and the boat reaches at river bank. Then if that person jumps out of that boat, then that boat goes away from that person. It means if jumping of that person is considered as action, then moving away of that boat becomes as reaction. So this is the simple concept of action and reaction. Similarly, we can say one more example from here. Recoiling of gun. If we fire bullet from a gun, then gun feels a jerk in backward direction and bullet travels in forward direction. If we consider motion of that bullet as action, then that jerk or that recoiling of gun becomes as reaction. So these are some examples based on law of action and reaction. So let us discuss recoiling of gun. So until now we have discussed some basic theory related to Newton's law of motion. So recoiling of gun, let us say this is a gun and bullet is being fired from this gun. A bullet is fired from this bullet. This is the bullet, this is the gun, this is the bullet. Let us say mass of bullet is mb and mass of this gun is mg. Initially this bullet is at rest and this gun is also at rest, so initial velocities of gun and initial velocity of bullet becomes equal to 0. Now see, after firing, what happens? Let us say this is that gun. So this gun feels a jerk in backward direction and that bullet travels away from that gun in forward direction. Let us say this VB is speed of that bullet and VG is recoiling of that gun. So this is the concept of recoiling. So before starting recoiling, let us discuss momentum conservation. So after studying momentum conservation, we will come back to recoiling of gun. So what is momentum conservation? In absence of external forces, in absence of external force, total momentum of a system remains conserved. So this is the concept of momentum conservation. It means if F external is equal to 0, then F external is equal to dp upon dt. So dp upon dt is also equal to 0. So see, change in momentum with respect to time will only be 0 if p is constant. So if p constant hoga, then only change in momentum will be 0. So from here we can say that dp is equal to 0, or we can say that p1 minus p2 is equal to 0, or p1 is equal to p2. It means initial momentum is equal to final momentum. So this is the concept of momentum conservation. This is the concept of momentum conservation. क्या ध्यान रखना है आपको? What you have to remember is that there should be absence of external forces. Clear? So now come back to our point. Here, this is the condition where bullet is not fired from the gun, and this is the condition when bullet is fired from the gun. So total momentum Pi now becomes equal to total final momentum. Initial momentum becomes equal to final momentum. So initial momentum is 0 here, and final momentum is, let us say, mass of gun remains constant mg and mass of bullet remains constant mb. So mass of gun into velocity of gun plus mass of bullet multiplied with velocity of bullet. We have to find Vg. Vg is known as recoil velocity. So here Vg is equal to minus mb upon mg into Vb. So this is the relation of recoil velocity. This is known as recoil velocity. So let us discuss a question. Let us discuss an example. Let us say that there is a bullet which is fixed in a gun. Mass of bullet is 10 grams. Mass of this gun is 200 grams. Initially, bullet is fixed in gun. When bullet is fired, then I directly write values. Velocity of bullet is 10 meter per second. So find recoil velocity of the gun. Find recoil velocity of the gun. सो बच्चों यहाँ पर जनरली क्या होता है एमसीक्यूज में, आपके रिकॉइल वेलोसिटीज में, जैसे मान लिया कि आपके जो भी कोई ऑप्शन है, मान लिया एक ही करेक्ट ऑप्शन है, जैसे कोई ऑप्शन है जिसमें वैल्यू है एक्स, वो आपका करेक्ट है, तो आपको ऑप्शन में एक्स भी देगा और माइनस एक्स भी देगा. और अगर क्वेश्चन में बोल दिया रिकॉइल वेलोसिटी ऑफ द गन, if you are asked recoil velocity of gun, it means negative sign itself is included in that value. Let us see from here. Here this negative sign is included in recoil velocity. This negative sign shows that gun is moving in opposite direction of bullet. Negative sign shows gun travels in opposite direction of gun of bullet. So here in our question we are asked recoil velocity of the gun, it means we have to tick the answer which is positive in magnitude. So Vg is equal to minus mb upon mg into Vb. So if you remember this formula, then it's okay, but if you don't remember this formula, then no need to panic, simply use momentum conservation. So mb, mass of bullet, is 10 grams, mass of gun is 200, negative sign is there, and Vb is 10. So recoil velocity is, देखो यहां पर नेगेटिव साइन है साथ में, बट recoil velocity is 0.5 meter per second. So this is the pattern of question based on recoiling of the gun. So that's it for today. बच्चों आज के लिए इतना ही. नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में अपन बात करेंगे इम्पल्स और इम्पल्स का क्या रिलेशन होता है मोमेंटम के साथ में, और फिर अपन बात करेंगे डिफरेंट पैटर्न ऑफ फोर्सेज, किस किस टाइप के फोर्स होते हैं, टेंशन, फ्रिक्शन, नॉर्मल, ये सारे पैटर्न के फोर्स अपन डिस्कस करेंगे हमारे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर ऑनवर्ड्स. सो दैट्स इट फॉर टुडे. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग टुडेज वीडियो. सो लेट अस मीट इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो.